The market pops up to our target and then sinks. Are the bears taking control? This is Invest with Jacob. Okay, guys, so in last week's video, we talked about the fact that the market should bounce up toward our targets that we gave in that video, then come down and break the low, and that's exactly what we saw on both charts. The market bounced up to almost the penny of the targets we gave, and then came down and broke the low. Now the question is, have the bears taken control? I'll get into that in just 1 second, but first, if you're new here, welcome to the show, guys. My name is Jacob Gabbard, and this is Invest with Jacob, where we use Elliott Wave Theory to break down the SP 500 and the NASDAQ. I highly encourage you to hit that subscribe button down below so that you can get our daily S&P updates, our trade setups, and our buy alerts. All right, guys, another good week of trading for us. As you can see on the screen, people in the rooms are doing very well. PT and I are happy when we see this and happy to help traders. And if you want to be part of a winning team, check out later in the video. For now, let's jump into the chart and take a look. Okay, guys, so here we are on the daily futures chart for the S&P 500. I wanted to give a big picture update to start the week so that everybody's kind of on the same page, but not a whole lot's changed in the overall big picture. We've tracked the move down as A, the move up as B, and then we are looking for our primary count to be a C wave down that breaks through the October lows and looks toward the 3100 to 2930 area. Now, admittedly, this B wave has pushed higher than I anticipated, but that's kind of how B waves work. They're a corrective wave, which makes them extremely variable, I should say. And B waves can extend in their wave C. If you remember, a great example of this was right before the COVID drop. We had an A wave down, a B wave up, and then C down was the COVID drop. So the ABC here, okay, was a big expanded B wave. So while we have standard targets for our B waves, when they break and extend, it's not that uncommon. So we're looking for the downturn to see what kind of move we get. Now, off of the high, if we get a three-wave move, okay, so an A, B, C type move that tests the pivot, which is 42.54 to 43.69 on the futures chart. If we get a clear three-wave move that holds support and they come back up, then we would look to new all-time highs because they should be targeting about 5,100, then a pullback, and then 5,500 overall, 54.76, but I round to 5,500 overall. So a three-wave move down would indicate that we should see a wave 5 of 3 up to the 1618, and then a pullback to the 1.0, and then a move up to the 2.0 to complete the move. But if it is a B wave, as we think it is, we would look for a 5-wave move down for wave 1 that would come down into the 4,000 to 3,800 area. Then you get a bounce. And ultimately, after the move down is over, we would target 3152 to about 2,900, 2930 to the downside for this C wave. So 1.0, 1236, very common C wave extensions. So what we're looking for now is to see what kind of pullback we get off of this high. If it's a clear three-wave move into the pivot, we would expect them to move it back up toward the 4,900 to 5,100 area and then a pullback. If it's a 5-wave move down, then we're looking for a bigger pullback. So let's jump in and see how this works in a smaller time frame. As I just said, they push up and come back and test the pivot. So let's see how that works on the smaller time frame and dig in. Okay, so right here, we are looking at the 1-hour chart. What I said is they should be able to bounce back up to the pivot, 45.60, 150. They hit it almost on the dot, and then come down and hit the 1618 at 44.93. They hit that almost on the dot. So that's kind of how this works. You get 1, 2, 3, hits the target, comes back up, tests the pivot. As long as it holds, it should push down or up depending on which direction we're going. Again, so far that's what we've seen. And what we would look for from here is an ABC up back toward the 1.0 at 45.42, and then one more push lower toward that 44.63 area to complete a 5-wave move down off of the highs. If we can see that, that would be a good start overall. Then we would want to see a corrective bounce for an ABC, and then come back and break this low, and that would be pretty bearish at that time, but you would still need to complete 3, 4, and 5 of a bigger structure to give us an idea that we're actually heading down in that bigger wave C toward the 3,100 to 2,930 area. So for tomorrow and the next few days to week or so, we would look for a bounce up here toward the 1.0 at 45.42, come back down to the 44.63 area, and then an ABC up from there, come back down and break the low. Over on the NASDAQ, Same type of big picture setup, a wave A down, a wave B up. We were looking for a bigger wave C down to that 97.34 to 82.37 area as a big picture view. We're talking over the next year, year and a half, whatever, if that's going to play out. So that's a big picture view as the primary count. But if the NASDAQ is able to give us a three-wave move down that comes down into 14,520 to 14,039 area and hold, and then come back up and an impulsive move, then we would look to the highs up around the 17,440 area, then a pullback, then up to the 19,129 area or so for the all-time high on the NASDAQ overall. So NASDAQ, same as the ES. We're looking for either an impulsive move to the downside, which would tell us we're headed towards 9,700 to 8,200, or a three-wave move back into the 14,000 to 14,500 area, hold that area and come back up, and an impulsive move, and we would look to 17,445 and then 19,129. Okay, so same type of setup on the NASDAQ. Now over here on the hourly chart, the NASDAQ does have a little bit different of a setup than the ES. They did give us a five-wave down move, or what appears to be a five-wave move down off the top, but the follow-through hasn't been as solid on this move here. They only got to the 1.0, and then they came back up above the pivot. And that doesn't mean they can't continue lower, but it does mean it's not going to be an impulsive wave. So now we are looking for a leading diagonal for this first wave down for the bears, or potentially that ABC down that would hold the 14,000 area and then come back to all-time highs. So how that would play out is from here, okay, we would call this wave 1, and then you'd look for an ABC back up to the 15.7 to 15.892 region, this blue box I have on the screen. Then from there, you'd look for another three-wave move down. If you get a five-wave move down out of this blue box, that's going to look like a bigger ABC, and that's going to be a corrective move where we would look to all-time highs. But if you get another ABC down towards 15.80 or 084 to 14.913, as deep as 14.806, and a five or three-wave structure, then it's much more indicative of that bigger pullback, and this would be more of a leading diagonal setup, which would ultimately target around the 14,635 area. And then we'd look for a bounce and then an impulsive move down in 3. So NASDAQ's a little more complicated. Diagonals are very complicated structures. And if that's what's going to play out, that's what we'll have to give it time to play out. They're not very trustworthy structures. So I do lean toward this being the more corrective path until proven otherwise. But if we do see a diagonal continue to play out and take us down toward the 14.6 to 14.3 region, then we will start to look for that bigger pullback into the 9,000 area. So very similar paths, very similar outlooks on the big picture, but on the small scale, very different paths. We'd look for a diagonal on NASDAQ while we're still impulsive on the ES. Guys, if you love the information that I put out in these videos and you want real-time market updates from me, you need to check out investwithjacob.com. There's a link down in the description. Go ahead and click that link. It will take you right over to the website. Once you're there, check out our membership plans area. We have two incredible plans, and they both come with a 7-day free trial because I want you to get in there. I want you to make sure you love it and become part of the trading team before you ever spend a penny. You can cancel at any time. We also have our Elliott Wave for Beginners course. It is an a la carte course, 25 videos where I go over your introduction, your mindset, why Elliott Wave works, what to look for, and how to use it, as well as your chart setup and every tool you need to understand where the targets are, how to know when they've confirmed or failed, and how to really get the most out of Elliott Wave, as well as the Elliott Wave for Beginners, where I go through each wave, where the waves confirm, where they fail, all that different kind of stuff, so that you can finally understand the market instead of trying to understand the news cycles. The cool thing about that course is it does come with both of my membership plans. So if you enroll in either room, you get this course for free automatically. In our first room, the Invest with Jacob room, you get all of my real-time market updates, all of my buy and sell alerts, all of your Elliott Wave questions answered, a midday video where I go over everything we see on the charts and what to expect, as well as the training material we just saw. We trade the SPY and the QQQ, and we swing trade, which means our trades can last anywhere from a few days to a few months, so we don't trade quite as often as a day trading room does. However, if you are looking for day trading as well as individual stocks, you need to check out PT's Throne Room. In there, you get everything you get in the Invest with Jacob room, as well as individual stocks, day trading, and PT's reduced risk binary method that absolutely crushes the market. He gets you in at a cheap price, and he gets you big multiples on your money. So it's how he structures the trade that's so unique. It's something you kind of have to see to understand, and that's another reason we give you that 7-day free trial. He also set up a challenge account where he put $4,000 into an account trading mini ES futures, averaging 3 to 4% gains per week, showing you how to build a small account into a large retirement or savings account. Guys, We would love to have you in these rooms so we can all make money together. Okay, the key takeaways for today. On the ES or S&P futures, we're looking for that bounce up to 45.42 and then a move down toward 44.63. Over on the NASDAQ, it's a little bit different. We would be looking for them to bounce up into this blue box, 15,700 to 15,892. And for the bears, they want to see a 3-wave move down from there. The bulls want to see a 5-wave move down from there. Guys, that is your market update for today. I will talk to you tomorrow.